Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Bancroft Brothers Animation
Animation
Podcast.
podcast.
That's right. We are Tony and Tom Bancroft, two twins, twin animators, worked at Disney for many years, been in the animation industry for, I think, over 35 years now,
It
Tom.
is. It is.
We've
We're
done a
just
little
over
bit of
35.
everything, but we're always discovering new things. And that's what I love about the animation industry. And I'm not just talking about AI.
Oh, no. No, no,
No.
no. But we do have a really exciting episode today with one of the, if not the hottest YouTube shows out there for that's animated, and the channel that is one of the biggest channels for animation on YouTube. Super excited to get into that. What? Oh, did
Wait,
you have
wait,
anything else you want to?
yeah, Tom,
Oh,
we've been
what?
announcing online here and there some very special things going on, but you and
Yes.
I created an expo time. We were always like, when are we going to have something out here in the South? I just moved here 2 years ago, and we were like, this is it. It's time to start, Tom. Let's create our own professional animation expo, the South's first one. And you know
And
what
we
we
called
called
it
it?
the Bancroft Brothers Animation Expo.
No, too long.
No. Oh, we
It's
didn't. No.
called Animation, y'all.
Expo.
I thought you were going to criticize me for how I said y'all. But no, it's
Um,
Animation Y'all, and it's here in Nashville. It'll be out here in February 21st through the 23rd. We have all kinds of all-star guests that are going to be a part of it. I wish we could
Speaking of which,
announce.
I know, I wish we could. We just got some
Oh,
really
yes.
amazing news this week. It has not been 100% locked down, although, heck, that person said yes. So that feels like
So
it's locked down.
don't say yet, though.
But
Don't say
not
yet.
going to say who it is. But yes, have at least 2 or 3 people that are really solid and amazing. Top notch. Can't wait.
Top notch. He's coming from a foreign country just to be.
Oh, you just said he. Gosh,
Oh, doggone.
Tony.
Oh, he, she, or whatever he goes by these days is coming in from a far off, distant country just to be with us in Nashville. But I want to say, guys, get your tickets now. Go online to animationyall.com. Animation Y'all it's all put together, and y'all is YALL.com. Okay, Animation Y'all, go check it out right now. Get your tickets now because it is filling up quick. And Tom, once we announce this, I don't even know if you know we're doing this, but once we announce this big name, we're gonna by the I want to say the end of October, we are gonna have to raise prices because we're gonna be getting more and more select in who we can be able to let in by the time
Well,
we
and
announce
the
these
best way to
guys.
put that is that we have inexpensive prices right now that will be
That's right, pre-show.
unfortunately ending soon. It's the early bird purchase is going on right now. The prices will change. And by the way, it is a small expo. We're expecting anywhere from 300 to 500 people, and I think it's definitely on the 500 side now. You'll hear soon. Um, and but with booths, with all kinds of
Artist
goodies
vendors,
and
yeah,
booths. Yeah,
panels, guests,
you're gonna love
autographs.
even the people, not the superstars that we're talking about that are guests that are coming in from all over the world, by the way, but even the people with tables. Very curated experience. Man, we got some really good people coming into table too. It's gonna be the South's biggest animation expo, and we're so excited.
Animation Y'all
Yeah.
Expo. Anyway,
Now, and back to
back to the podcast, Tom.
our podcast. So tonight we have something very interesting. And by the way, guys, you're going to hear us say stupid things and not be super educated all the time, unlike normal podcasts with us.
Unlike
Um,
every other podcast.
but only because we don't know this show super well. I've heard so much about it though, and that's what's amazing. I have watched it, but I want to bring on the I'm going to say key animator, might be supervising animator. We'll let him
Lead
correct me.
animator,
Lead
right?
animator, Kevin Temmer of the show. Here it comes. I've just forgot it. The Amazing Digital Circus.
Let's hear it for Kevin. Come
Woo-hoo!
on in.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Worst
Hey,
intro
Kevin.
ever.
It was great. I loved every
And that's pretty good because Tom and I usually do butcher people's names, get stammery when we do the intros. So That was actually a pretty good one. But yeah,
Thank you.
Kevin, a friend of ours were like, you have to get Kevin onto your show and talk about the Amazing Digital Circus. And I got to say, we look like two old guys. We are, and we were just like, Amazing Digital Circus, what's that? And
No, we had both heard of it. Don't say
no,
that.
we had both heard of it.
It's
Yeah.
too big of a hit not to have heard about it. Plus, I have a YouTube channel. I'm competing with you guys, not doing so well in comparison. But I have Pencil's Animation Studios YouTube channel, and we're dropping animated shorts and things like that too. But we're not getting 341 million views on the pilot episode of the Amazing Digital Circus as you guys are. Congratulations for being a part of this.
Thank you. I'm still in awe about it. It's a very surreal thing. I don't think any of us were expecting it to be that big.
Yeah.
I know.
I mean, it's one of the biggest animation channels. By the way, I got to say this. It's actually called Glitch Entertainment. They're the people behind the Amazing Digital Circus, among other shows we'll be talking about too, like Murder Drones and Meta Runner and Sunset Paradise. Wait, I just said Murder Drones. But anyway, other shows. So
other shows with murder.
Glitch Entertainment, how long have you been with them?
Yeah, so I've been with Glitch Productions for I think a little over a year now. I think a year and a few months. And
Mm-hmm.
man, it feels like I've been there so long because we get so much done there. I've already worked on like 3 different shows, and it's been such an incredible experience. I feel so lucky to be there.
Well, give us a little bit of backstory about Glitch, or at least what you know. So, when did Glitch come together? How did it come together? And how long has it been? Because they've got so many viewers. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
right. So basically, like the founders are these 2 brothers, common
Yeah.
theme here. And yeah, one of them started making YouTube videos, I believe when they were only like 13 years old, and those videos just started catching on. And then the 2 brothers started working together, Kevin and Luke. And yeah, so they just started creating original shows, and they got better and better, hired on more people, and things started to grow. And I think Murder Drones was his first really big hit, and then Digital Circus came after that. And yeah, it just things started to skyrocket. But it's just like
Wow.
every other startup where you have those small beginnings, and then you just find the right elements, put them together, and you get that boom, that explosion.
And it did. And
Wow.
it exploded for
I'll
sure.
say. Yeah, I mean, Amazing Digital
Wow.
Circus only looks like 3 episodes, but the second one's only 3 minutes and 8 seconds, but the other 2 are just over 25 minutes long. I assume that middle one there, number 2, is just sort of like a little preview for
Yeah, yeah.
for episode 2, sorry.
Right. We
Yeah.
do little trailers and merch videos to,
Mhm.
generate that excitement.
I wish I could do a little video that's 3 minutes long that got 58 million views.
58 million views.
That's what it has,
That
Tony.
is wild. I cannot believe this. I mean, okay, so let's dig deeper into this, Kevin. So, were you there at the beginning of the Amazing Digital Circus? And were you involved with the concept?
Right.
How did that show come about?
So yeah, I came on pretty early on where things were still pretty much in pre-production. The concept was all Gooseworks, the creator of the show. She came up with the brilliant characters and story, writes every single episode. So as the lead animator, I helped develop the movement style of the characters, right? So the characters were already designed and rigged and everything. So I, tested them out. I tried to figure out how they would move. I worked with Gooseworks, the showrunner, on that. It was a lot of collaboration, figuring stuff out. And
Yeah.
then, once the other animators got to playing around with the characters, they had their own contributions as well. So it's a
Yeah.
highly collaborative environment, which I think really does help with the quality of everything.
Mm,
Yeah. And it's kind of zany. It's got almost like I'm gonna say it's CG animation, so I'll put that
Mhm.
out there first. But it has almost like a Warner Brothers kind of a feel as far as like
Yes.
takes and kind of really broad action and animation.
Totally.
Um,
We totally took inspiration from that. Just like, yeah, Warner Brothers, cartoony exaggeration. And, the fun thing is that every character has a different movement style inspired by what they're made of and what their personality is. We have Ragatha, that's a rag doll, so she has that sort of floppy movement. We have Kane, who's a guy with teeth and eyeballs for for a face, and he's just a super wacky character with basically no rules and restrictions on him. So we let the animators go completely bonkers with him, and it's so much fun to watch what people come up with.
well, and it's so now you just got me thinking of something. So like, if it's about a 25-minute episode, almost
Mhm.
26 minutes for a pilot, how many animators are on that usually?
Yeah, well, we do have a pretty small amount of animators.
Really?
We have been growing steadily though. I think we're at about like 7 animators right now. And I back in the day I worked at Blue Sky where there were like 20 to 50 animators or something. So it's definitely a different experience. But this is also my first time being a lead and
Yeah.
having that not only the responsibilities of, being on shots, but also, guiding other people and giving notes. So it's been this huge rewarding learning experience for me and just working with all these other super talented people that inspire me every day.
I love that. Don't you find that as you're teaching, basically, you learn just as much as they do?
100%. Like it always
Yeah.
sounds cliche, but it's really true. I'm learning
Yeah.
so much from them, and it's a really
Yeah.
great opportunity.
Talk to us a little bit about, you mentioned that you came from Blue Sky, and so which
Mm.
means obviously you went to school. And I want to hear where you went to school and stuff, but then started working on features, and now you've transitioned into something that's just totally different, kind of
Yeah.
fast pace series work. And I want to hear about the contrast there. But first, take us back a little bit into what school did you go to? How did you get into the animation industry? What was the hopes and dreams back then compared to now?
Yeah, sure thing. So I went to the Ringling College of Art and Design in
Hmm.
Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got a bachelor's in computer
A good
animation.
school. Were you happy with the school? I just want to hear this because I've heard both sides of this story.
Yeah, I personally had a good experience there. I
Yeah.
think everyone has their own experiences at school, and like other schools, there definitely were certain like controversies and flaws and things that need to be corrected. But
Sure.
Mm,
I think my personal experience was that I got a lot of good out of it. Um,
Right.
and they had recruiters come on campus, and that did help me get my job at Blue Sky, because I got an internship there first, which led to a full-time job there.
that's
um,
awesome.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, I was extremely lucky. I do think nowadays there are a lot more resources available to people. You're finding kids on the internet who are like mastering 3D software, and they're not even at the college age yet, and it's pretty
Mm,
unbelievable. And so,
Yeah.
I feel like back when I went, it felt like college was like kind of the only way to like get a career in animation, but now it feels like there's so many different avenues, which I
A
yeah.
think
lot
is
of that was the expense of the equipment, right? It was the colleges that could afford the big
yeah,
time computers and the rendering systems and
Software.
all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
now everybody could just have it right there in their room,
Yeah.
Exactly.
playing
Yeah,
video
I think
games and making CG.
yeah, absolutely. There are less and less obstacles between artists and their creations, and I think that's going to create this really exciting future of like indie animation, which is
Yeah.
exactly what our studio is trying to do. We're trying to like really push forward this revolution in indie animation.
Ooh, I want to go there in a minute. I really do. But let's finish Tony's three
Yeah,
questions.
yeah.
Let's see.
Was it three? I thought it was
What was
four.
that? What was the last one? I lost track,
The
actually.
last one actually that I was hoping you'd get to is you worked for studios and you've done
Right.
feature animation and kind of high quality standards, more time, maybe even more a bigger paycheck too. I don't know, but and then what was that transition like, and how did you get into doing this
Yeah.
internet stuff and working on a
Yeah,
series
because
like
Blue Sky
Amazing Circus?
is all feature stuff. There was no
Yeah,
TV
Yeah.
stuff
Well,
there.
it
Yeah.
was back when it still existed, but
yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunately it did
Too
get
bad.
shut down. But yeah, so I worked at Blue Sky for a few years. That was my first job in the industry. I worked on Ice Age 5, Ferdinand, Spies in Disguise. And
Yep.
then I moved to California and I started working in games for a bit. I
Oh,
worked on a few console games at Sony Interactive Entertainment. Then I went to a company called Jam City where I worked on mobile games, which was completely different from what I was used to. A
Oh yeah.
very fun, interesting opportunity. After that, I worked in games again. And then finally, I got here where I'm working on YouTube shows. So I've been like hopping around all
All
over
over the place.
all these
Yeah.
different things.
but how did you find
Yeah.
Glitch, or did they find you? What was that like? Was there an application process or showing your reels to somebody?
So yeah, this was basically the first time that a company found me. So as I was doing my animation day job,
Mm,
I started my own YouTube channel and would make these animated music videos on the side. It was sort of that side hobby to scratch that creative itch I'd have.
mm.
And um the CEO from Glitch noticed the stuff I was posting online and reached out to me, and we started having a conversation going, and it eventually led to a position there. It's
That's
Well,
crazy
and
how this
awesome.
had
works.
you even heard of Glitch at that time?
No, I don't think so.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I think I'd heard of their side channel, but I don't think I had heard of their main channel making the original cartoon series. But I started looking stuff up and I was like, wow, they're up to some really awesome stuff here.
Mm.
And then when he started telling me about Digital Circus, at that point there were just character drawings, but I took a look at it and I'm like, I think I really want to be a part of this. This looks very unique and different. Yeah, so he flew down. We had breakfast together because they're in Australia, right? So I work remotely for
Oh,
them.
Oh,
So yeah, he flew from Australia. We got breakfast together, talked about things, and yeah, and eventually I got brought on, and the rest is history.
wow. Yeah.
dang, that's awesome.
And you said it's two brothers. I want to get to now. What was it? Works. Not Grace Works. What,
Oh,
what's her name?
Gooseworks? Yeah, Gooseworks. Yeah, she's
Goose
the
Works.
creator of Digital Circus.
Yeah. So I'm sure that now. How does that work? And you may not have been a part of this, but was she already working there, or did she come to them and pitch a show? Like, because she's got a lot of control. It looks like a lot of the writing and the
Yeah,
storyboarding and
right. So I
directing.
believe they went to her. They saw her YouTube channel and really liked what they saw. They saw like good storytelling and a unique vision, and they asked her
Yeah.
to pitch an idea to them.
Mm.
And yeah, and so by the time I believe she was also part of the decision to bring me on. So she
Mhm.
definitely was already there by the time I got to the studio, and so they had already developed a lot of the ideas for the show. But I was brought on to do the trailer, the little teaser trailer for the show, and that was before any of the characters had been animated. So it was kind of like pioneering what they were going to move like, and I definitely learned a lot doing that. I feel like
Yeah.
everything is a lot more polished now compared to that teaser. We all learned a lot, but that's
Yeah.
typically how it goes.
What is the element that you think has made this thing take off? Now, because it breaks some rules, honestly, especially at the time. I'm trying to see when the first pilot came out. 10 months ago. Okay, so it
Mhm.
wasn't that long ago, but we'll say up to a year ago. This is still something that, like, oh, a more adult show, and it's not. I didn't see anything super violent or
Yeah,
anything like
I didn't
that,
see
or
anything
even,
too.
and there's no cussing. They even make a joke out of cursing is not allowed. Um, but uh, but it's 25 minutes long, and that breaks a lot of rules. And actually, I'm looking at Murder Drones too, and they're 26 and 18 minutes at least. So they're doing longer form animation, honestly, even longer than a lot of the shows, like, on TV, that are, a lot of them are
Exactly. Yeah.
22 minutes. So explain that. Like, I guess my whole question is, like, is that one of many elements that is making this really popular? Do people want longer form content? And do they want more adult zany kind of stuff?
I do think that. I think we sometimes forget that people do have the ability to be engaged for a long time. In this current day and age in social media and the internet, we have so much short form content, just trying to keep people attached and keep their
Yeah.
eyeballs on the screen. But I think if you have characters that people care about in an engaging story, you can keep people hooked for as long as you want, as long as you keep it, engaging and meaningful, and just having creative, unique ideas. People want to see things that are new, right? They don't want to keep seeing sequels and things that they've seen before. They want to see
Yeah.
something they haven't seen before, something that's pushing the boundaries and doing something risky and weird. I,
Yeah.
I think that that's the secret sauce here, is that Glitch just got a bunch of talented people together and let them
Yeah.
cook, let them make
And
cool
they
stuff.
said, go into a room and be weird.
Exactly.
But
That's
I also I
exactly
think
it.
I also think there's like a charm to and I see this with my my students too. They seem to be like really into memes and really into
Mm,
just things that are like not perfect, it doesn't have
yeah.
to be polished. It just has to be kind of wacky, weird, or real in some way, and really connect with them in an emotional way. And I feel like this does, I feel like this has all those components, because I can only imagine, like, if you went to a network, if Gooseworks, when she first, was creating this thing, and I'm sure she got turned down. I don't know if you know any of those stories, but if you went to a network or something and pitched this, I think they would laugh you out of the room.
Yeah. But not anymore.
Now they're
Yeah.
trying to buy it, I bet.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sure the deals have already come in and they're probably turning them down, bless their hearts.
No, I love that.
Do you know much
Renegade.
about that side? So, like, I guess let's move into a little bit of a behind the scenes of Glitch. Meaning, you said already they're in Australia. They're a couple brothers. My assumption is they are animators themselves because they started on their own. I would imagine way back when. Is that true?
Sort of. One of them is sort of like a generalist video creator. They were kind of making the videos by themselves, and then the other one is more of like a business person with a passion for the creative, but not really an animator himself, but
Yeah.
knows that aspect of it. So together it's kind of like the perfect mix of that creativity and business knowledge. But yeah, they brought on just like basically a bunch of YouTubers and also non-YouTubers. But I think because the company started on YouTube, they understand YouTube culture, they understand internet culture. And I think that is an additional
Yes.
ingredient in that secret sauce, where it's a genuine understanding of humor instead of trying to mimic that kind of humor, right?
Yeah.
They were born in that kind of humor, so it's familiar to them.
No, I totally get that. And you're right. It feels very authentic, internet weird, whatever you want to call that.
Right,
Um,
exactly.
but and do you feel like, Kevin, that was that sort of, I know it wasn't on your resume, but was that part of the vibe that you gave them, you think, that got you the job? Besides, obviously, you had great credits at Blue Sky and in video games, but do you feel like you're their audience, basically?
I think so. I think, it's hard for me to say exactly what they were thinking, but I believe they saw that I enjoyed making videos for the internet and for that kind of weird humor, like you said. And I think also just the fact that I liked creating my own things. I think when they hire people, they really do search for people who have that drive. Everyone on our team is incredibly talented in their own special way, and
Hmm.
it's really cool to see that. When you're at
Yeah.
a bigger studio, that can get lost a lot of the time, but when you're in a small one, you can really see each person's voice shine through in their work. And I'm kind of going on a tangent there, but you get the idea, where I just
No,
think,
but
No, I mean,
what I
I
think
get
is
it.
great is that you're talking about creators, and we love talking about that too, and on this podcast, but and celebrating creators and people that take the chance to actually create something new, something different, and get it into the world out there. So,
totally.
for you, where do you think that came from? That desire, were you inspired at a young age to like always make your own comic books or something like that? Where did that come from for you?
Oh yeah, I think I've been into art for as long as I can remember, ever since I was a little kid, just drawing a bunch of things, watching movies, a lot of the movies that you guys worked on. I was
Yeah,
Those
just
old things, those aren't
those
original
little
I
anymore.
things,
know. Nobody talks about those movies anymore. So it's
But yeah,
all digital
no,
circus now.
it's all did.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I think I just like absorbed things like a sponge, right? I think everything, all
Yeah.
the Saturday morning cartoons, movies, everything animated, just created this library in my brain that I'm constantly pulling from. And yeah, I just knew I had to be part of that in some way or another, and I
I
was
got it.
lucky
So
enough to be able to do
That's
that.
so
I
cool.
love that. And you're right. Like, I have a small studio, like I said, Pencilish. And, we love, and we've created a few shows of our own. We have a few pilots out. And, we love just being a small group and yeah, our pedigree might be slightly higher. It's not quite so internet. It's a little bit trying to be somewhere in between. Like, we want it
Right.
to look like it's as good as a studio, one of the majors would make. And maybe that's our fault. Maybe that's a negative nowadays.
I
Don't
think
go so
so, Tom.
slick. I
I
know.
think so.
But I will say that we love making stuff and just being that small group where everybody gets to wear multiple hats and things like that. So if I'm gonna ask this for the audience that's listening. If I'm an animator or a modeler or whatever, because most of the stuff you do is CG, it looks like,
Mhm.
or I should say that Glitch does. Um, and I want to find out if you guys need anybody and all that and get a job there. Like, do you kind of tend to, do you guys do traditional posts, or you're kind of like, no, we're always scanning the internet. We know who's out there. If they're doing stuff, it's going to be on their YouTube channel, and that's where we go. Is that the best way in? I guess
Right,
is
right,
what
right.
I'm
I
saying.
believe they do post ads and things like that, call outs for people to work there. I think if you go to their website, I think there's an area where you can submit your reel.
Hmm.
One really good way though is definitely to post your stuff online. I think just getting your stuff out there, not being afraid to spread it everywhere, every form of social media that you have, and just consistently making things, consistently putting it out there. That's a great way to sort of, get that kind of attention and grow as an artist. But yeah, definitely like if you think you've got stuff that they'd like, definitely send it in and you
Yeah.
never yeah, you never know.
What about is Digital Circus? Is it completely a virtual studio system? Like, is everybody working in some of the from home these days and all? And did that start for you guys no matter what? Like, I know the pandemic really caused a lot of productions to go more virtual, but did you
Right.
guys set it up that way from the beginning? Like, have you ever been to the Australia studio or anything?
So no, I haven't been there yet. The So it's a mix, right? So there's like a whole bunch of people working at the Australia studio, and then there's
Hmm.
a whole bunch of people that are remote. So it's this nice little hybrid thing they've got going on. And I think it really helped them out, right? Because you're not putting a limit on the kind of talent you can bring in when you're sort of opening it up to the world.
Yeah. So is there a pipeline that you guys have that's pretty that you've developed for making Digital
Mm.
Circus that has to do with virtual and in-house? At some point, is all the content going back into the Glitch Studios for maybe post-production or color
Right,
timing and all
yeah,
that kind of
yeah,
stuff?
there's different parts of the pipeline, like at other studios, and yeah, it's put on servers and whatnot, and we all are able to share the files around, so that's done pretty easily. And, I think we what I like about Glitch is its willingness to change and grow. I feel like just within the short time I've been there, it's changed and grown so much, and just we keep trying new things and trying to make things better, trying to make the product better, trying to make
Yeah.
people there happier, and just trying to consistently grow and not just try to stay stagnant, right? I think there's always ways to improve, and as long as you always have that mindset, you're gonna keep growing and changing. And yeah, I think every studio could really learn something from that.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that. It's just being stuck in a mold. And I think we've seen that with a lot of the majors out there, the major studios. They're just sort of
Mhm.
like trying to, we're in the feature side. We're in sequelville now. Every film
Mm.
that's coming out is
Yep.
sequels. And
Yep.
here you guys are making some crazy new shorts, and people are responding to it. So that kind of gets me to, excuse me while I get my business hat on a little bit. Now I
Oh
know you're
gosh.
not one of the
Tom's
owners.
putting on his business hat.
Here it comes.
Oh
Here we
boy.
Uh,
go.
but with this many hundreds of millions of views, obviously the studios are coming, right? They're saying, what are they doing? How do we acquire it? How do we, get it out on our
Imitate
channel?
it or buy it or
Right. And it's easier to buy it than to imitate it. So their first option is usually that. I assume that the brothers, what are their names, by the way?
Kevin and Luke.
Sorry. Hi, Kevin and Luke. So I assume that Kevin and Luke are getting these offers, and it sounds like they're turning them down, because they're going, hey, we already got our YouTube channel. We got something going. Why would we share that with you guys, even though you're throwing money at us? We see a bigger future. Am I guessing right? Is that sort of their stance right now?
So I don't think I'm allowed to comment on specifics, but I
Sure.
will say this because I believe it was mentioned in an article that they don't have intentions of selling, or selling in a way where it's like they don't maintain complete like ownership.
Yeah.
Sorry,
And probably
Tom.
control too.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I had an offer I was about to make. Thanks, Tony. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was about to get there.
$10,000.
How does that sound?
I know that reference.
Yeah.
It's a little higher in the movie though.
I guess
Yeah.
$1 million.
There we go. Now we're
There it is.
talking.
But yeah, I
That's-
mean, but what I love too is that there is an entrepreneurial quality to what Glitch is doing too. And we were talking about it earlier. You guys have already gotten plush toys out. You got little PVCs, I think, too, and I've seen a couple of them, keychains and stickers. And when did that all start coming up? Was that like right after the pilot that you guys started producing some of that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I think they had that plan pretty early on. They knew that was going to really help out, and yeah, it's wild seeing that stuff all over the place. We even got like shirts in Hot Topic now, and we recently had a pop-up store in Japan open up for a little bit. So yeah, it's been surreal seeing all that. Not to mention a bunch of knockoff things that are easy to bump into every now and then.
Oh, I bet.
I'm going to do some fan art. I'm going to get that out there and then do t-shirts based off of it. But I mean, I love all of this because I love to see the independent animation studios thrive, and YouTube is really where it's at. I mean, we've all seen that the streamers are just failing right now. They're all just going, what's going on? They're laying off, they're canceling shows, be it feature films and TV shows. And everybody's saying, I just heard this the other day, the only place, and I know they're not quite considered a streamer, but the only place that is really doing well and still succeeding is YouTube. They've seemed to have been bulletproof. Now, but it's hard to make money there. I will say that. That's true of, kind of any independent sort of route. But you guys are going direct to your audience, and I love that. That's also Pence's motto. So is it mostly, and maybe this isn't your area, Kevin, you can just say if it isn't, but is it mostly ads, or is it merchandising that kind of brings in the money and pays for everything?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say specifics, but I will say merch definitely helps a lot. And that's one thing that the studio is also trying to help other indie studios and indie creators with. They're offering their services to help, develop merch for other people, because that's the really cool thing is they're trying to pave the way for other studios. We're not just thinking about our success. We're trying to think about the success of animation in general, and how do we keep this going in an industry that's so on fire right now with people getting laid off all over the place. How can we get people optimistic to work in this field? And I really think indie animation is the way, and not working against other people, but working with them and pushing them upward. If we all push each other upward, then we have nowhere to go but up, right?
Yeah, I see,
Kevin.
I see a video.
I see it. You know what I really see? You know what I
Yeah.
see, Tom? I see a ticket in Kevin Timmer's hot hands to Nashville to be part of Animation Y'all in February and talk about indie animation. I want you, buddy. I want you out here.
You got to do that. You
That
got to
would
do
be
it.
amazing. Yeah, I would love
this. I love
Tony,
when
you
you're
got to
talking about it.
offer him a table. You got to give him a table.
You want a table? Yeah, of course. We can
Right.
give you an exhibitor table or a booth, an artist table. You got things to sell. Bring the merch. Absolutely. Bring the merch.
Do you
The
do that?
circus.
I mean, are you even allowed to bring merch and sell it? I mean, that's not really his job.
I
I don't
think
think.
like probably I would have you guys communicate with the glitch team and we could probably set something up where like me and a few people
Yeah.
Done.
because that's what we did at MomoCon, right? Like a bunch of
Yeah.
us went over, sold a bunch of plushies and stuff. But yeah, I'm sure that the glitch
We
would love
should
to
do
do
that.
that. Let's
Good.
try to get that set up.
You
Let's
tell
do
him,
that. Let's work together, Kevin.
Give us that
Because
email. We'll set it up.
Here's what I would love is just to have you guys on a panel, and as many of them that could come out would be awesome. Obviously, the guys from Australia, we'd love to have them. We'd love to have them on the podcast.
Tony, I want to add Tracy Butler from Lackadaisy to that
yes.
list.
Okay. I like
know
how
her.
this is developing. Yeah.
Tracy is one of the people we're working with. Like we helped Lackadaisy's merch and stuff like that.
Well, okay. So here's
Great.
that's right where I was headed with this. I just saw a post here or a video that you put up about a month ago. 3.1 million views. Okay.
Whatever.
Called Rising Tides, and it looks like it's some kind of a tie-in with Lackadaisy. So can you explain? Is that sort of your announcement video for what you were just talking about?
Yeah, exactly. We're working with Lackadaisy, creating merch and stuff like that, trying to help them. And yeah, the goal is to just continue to help other indie studios and indie creators. Even things like putting shout outs to things in our videos. I think this is the attitude that is necessary for our industry to survive. We have to help each other. We can't just say, oh, it's every studio for itself. We have to.
Yeah.
Totally love that. Yeah, like collabs and things like that, right?
Exactly.
So in a way, you're collabing with Lackadaisy, it looks like. I love that. Yeah, and that's a great show. And Tracy's
done an
amazing job with
gorgeous.
that.
Yeah, Tom and I are trying to bring that in that spirit that you're talking about right there is what we're trying to bottle up and share with all of Nashville and the South, because we just don't see that out here. Everything is so Burbank, LA central. I mean, that's why you're in Pasadena, right? So, that's where the studios are. And for a long time, that was the only place, the only way to get anything made in animation was you got to be out there. And I think it's just a different time now. There's creators all over the place now, and particularly Atlanta and Nashville and stuff like that are popping up all over. Let's do stuff. Let's make things together.
That does. I totally love that, Tony. I begs the question, like, so why Pasadena, Kevin? I mean, you could have lived anywhere, I'm sure. Do you have family there, or do you just like to sort of spend a lot of money?
Or you like great weather? Great weather.
I've been hopping around different places in California. I mean, it honestly has been getting very expensive. And sometimes I do wonder if I'm always going to be here, if I'm going to be forced to move somewhere a little cheaper at some point, Right. But yeah, because I do think like as things are becoming more remote, that studios should be more flexible with that and, let people live wherever and give them the option to come to a studio. But I think you're limiting yourself if you're like, oh, you have to physically be here, especially for things like animation, which kept streaming services alive during the pandemic. So there's so much proof that animation can be done completely virtually.
Yeah, those walls have been broken down, and that's the only positive that came out of COVID. Really, was just seeing the walls come down of Hollywood. And especially animation.
I was there, Kevin. I've told this story on the podcast before, but I was working for Warner Brothers on Space Jam: A New Legacy, and literally we were just getting in animation. Pandemic hit, and it was literally one day to the next. They're like, "Okay, pack up your office, take your computer if you need it, and go home." And it'll be a couple weeks probably, but we don't want to lose any time. And thankfully, everybody did pack up all that stuff because holy cow, it ended up being a year and a half. And we finished the whole film by the time everybody.
Oh, wait, you finished? So that movie came out?
Yeah, nobody saw it. It's okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right. I know what you're saying.
Saw it or heard
I know what you're saying. I get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Space Jam. I worked on it briefly, but yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, yeah, that's just that 2D animation. How's your heart for 2D, Kevin? Are you just pure CG and I hate those 2D people?
No, are you kidding me? I have so much respect for 2D because I suck at it. I remember getting like C's in my traditional animation class. I tried
Oh,
so hard. I wanted to be good, but once they put me in front of a computer, I was like, okay, I'm comfortable now. But yeah, I just never
yeah.
really had that sort of draftsmanship that's, required for it. But no, I love it. I want it to continue to exist alongside 3D. I don't want
Oh,
3D to
cool.
replace it. Like it deserves to stay alive.
There's room for
Gotcha.
everybody, right? Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely.
That's the beauty of
Tom,
it. Like the
can't
different
we all get
media.
along, Tom? Can't
We
we?
can. Tell me, like Glitch, you guys call me. You guys need a 2D show. We can do a 2D show for Glitch. We'd love to.
Okay,
So, but they
let's
need
do
one.
it.
I
Yeah.
see CG. That's what I see.
Yeah, no, I agree.
People love that.
Maybe that's
2D.
the only glitch in the armor.
Right. In their
Glitch.
matrix. Yeah. Man,
Oh,
Kevin,
you guys. Yeah,
we are
gotta.
going to have to wrap up pretty soon, but man, it's been good to talk to you. So how do people contact you? So like, I mean, I want you to be able to
Oh,
say,
you want him to
hey,
give out his personal information right now, Tom?
well,
What are you asking?
online, the people online that want to contact him. Do you have like Instagram or anything you want to share?
Yeah. I have an Instagram, YouTube. Honestly, if you just Google Kevin Temmer, I'm sure you'll find it. I was lucky enough that there aren't a lot of Kevin Temmers out there.
Yeah.
Never heard of it
Yeah,
before.
like my YouTube channel is Kevin Temmer Tunes. My Instagram, Kevin Temmer, TikTok. Most of it you can find just like by searching Kevin Temmer.
Are you still doing your own YouTube stuff on your page? Because you have a large subscription also.
Lately, it's been difficult because I
They're
have
called
been so
subs,
busy.
Tony.
Yes, I
What?
bet.
They're subs. Yeah.
Oh, subs, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So lately, I've been posting a lot of my glitch work on my YouTube channel. Glitch has been very nice about that and been very cool about me posting us posting our work on social media.
That's cool.
So yeah, I hope like at some point I will have more time to do stuff on the side. But right now, it's been quite a full-time job and very fulfilling, but very, very busy.
Well, that's
Yeah.
awesome. This has been really an education for Tom and I, but also just a peek into a real renegade attitude and exciting attitude by a bunch of creative artists that are just having fun doing what they love to do. And to me, that's what animation's all about. And that's what resonates with audiences. So congratulations, Kevin. So cool.
Thank you
It
so
really
much.
is.
It was super awesome talking to you both.
I
Yeah.
really enjoy getting to know you, Kevin, and I just hope that you'll
Likewise.
keep listening to the Bancroft Brothers Animation Podcast. I hope.
And tell the glitch guys we want them on the podcast. All right, we got to get those guys
Yes.
on
I'll let
and
them know.
yeah.
I want to hear their Aussie accents.
Aussie accents. All right.
Yeah.
They're great.
Look,
They're great.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Tony.
Okay.
Don't.
Oh, I'm not going to say anything about shrimp on the barbecue.
Nobody. Oh yeah, please.
No, I'm not gonna do that, Tom. All right. Well, Tom, as we always say, and thank you all for listening. We really appreciate it. But as we always say,
Animate
from the
from
heart.
the heart.
Yes.
If you like what you just saw, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel, Pencilish Studios.